name's Ruth Gorman. I'm the Chief Exec of Imagine, Act and Succeed. And as a provider organisation, we've been considering how we can use the markers from making it real to kind of understand our success and think about what we need to do and what we need to do in the future. So I'm going to share with you just a few things that we've been doing. Some of them feel quite significant and there are lots of others I'm sure that you'll be aware of as well. So if I just talk through the markers, we've got active and supportive communities being one of the markers, and looking across the organisation and thinking about what do we do and how do we do it well. We've done lots of work around circles of support for people, and that's bringing in external facilitators to do some of that work, and we've also trained some of our team leaders to go externally and facilitate circles of support for people. That's proved really beneficial in terms of the quality of the work that we do. Really considering intentional good neighbours and helping the people we support to think through and their families what makes a great neighbour, what could we do differently, and what could we do that maybe in time would build some reciprocal relationships so that people have natural supports around them and people are next door or even down the same street or in the same town. Neighbour doesn't have to be directly next to where people live. We also have a community fund. One of the things that we recognised when we did our statement of purpose was that if we really truly want to think about community, it's about what do we also give to community, not just take away. So there's a small pot of money that's a community fund that people can access, apply for, and obviously it's with the intention that it benefits the local community. And for the people that we support, they're out and about and they've got a valued role in what they do. One of the next markers I'll talk about is flexible integrated care and support. One of the things for a number of years that we've been doing is person-centred reviews with people. Really good, real positive responses and results from that. We then thought about strategically how do we implement or think about the bigger picture. So we've used working together for change to help us understand from a business perspective as well as from what people want, what do we need to do and where do we invest our time and money. We're quite excited to be doing a new piece of work around reablement in one of the local authorities that we're working, and that's reablement around people who possibly still live at home with mum and dad and they're going to need support in the future, or young people coming through transition. We have a whole team trained up around that, and that starts on the 2nd of April. So that's a really exciting piece of work. And thinking about the flexible and integrated care and support for people, that means people choosing their staff and matching people really well. Long gone are the days where as an organisation we recruit. It needs to be where people are involved in that in whatever way makes sense to them. But as a minimum, we do a matching staff tool to inform the interview process. Our workforce is very, very important. We've done lots of work over the years around person-centred teams. That includes positive productive meetings, person-centred supervision. And latterly, we've changed the way we do appraisals. That is now in the kind of the likeness of the person-centred review. We use the same headings and staff understand it and feel that it kind of works much better for them. Alongside that, we have been doing person-centred thinking for, again, a number of years. All team leaders have been trained around this, but it was an extra drive to think about how do we make this habit? What do we need to be doing? How do we need to be reminding each other? That would be a great tool to use. So again, people have got habits packs and are using them. It's great to walk in an office and see something up on a wall that says habit of the week, or the tool of the week is working, not working, and knowing that it's getting out there and people are really doing that. Again, using progress for providers, managers to really identify the quality of what we need to do and to understand what's happening and where it's happening, and where some team leaders or leaders in the organisation might need more support rather than more training. So it's coaching people through some of that, but really being able to identify that in the company-wide quality group and say, how are we doing? What do we need to do differently, and how do we support each other around that? So it's not a punitive kind of approach, it's a way that we use that alongside appraisal for people. Risk and risk enablement. We've used the person-centred approach to risk. We have key people in the organisation who are really comfortable with that process, and the coaches and the leads around that. And that links in with a real current thing for us around just enough support. Really pleased to have been part of developing and kind of working through that in the organisation, especially in the current climate. How do you do this with integrity? How do you make sure that this really, really works for people? And it has a real link in with community, thinking about that, and assistive technology, and links back to the workforce being flexible and efficient at this time. What that's done is kind of thrown up some new issues for us, not just for us but for local authorities, around boundaries, policies, and what that looks like. How are we changing that? So that's an ongoing piece of work in the organisation and with local authorities, because some of the policies that we have kind of don't fit neatly into some of the things that we need to be doing. Personal budgets and self-funding. We're doing an awful lot of work at the moment, very exciting piece of work, around deconstructing a block contract in one local authority, which means that by June we will have deconstructed a whole block contract, so we'll have 100 individual service funds for people. What that's done for us as an organisation is raise the quality of the information that we already had. We've really needed to look at, does that stand up to scrutiny, and I suppose a raised expectation for the people we support, because we're being very, very clear about how people's money is going to be used, how if it's not used or people don't get the hours, we'll do different things with that. So yeah, that's kind of really raised the bar, which fits in with the personalised rotas, and the personalised rotas truly with outcomes on them, so that we can demonstrate to people, these are the outcomes that you said you wanted to happen, this is how we're supporting you and using your money in order to meet those outcomes. And person-centred reviews kind of across the board to ensure that actually what we're doing is still fitting in really well. We use the person-centred review to make sure that we're using the individual service fund well, and also that staff are doing what people want them to do. So that kind of works great. Information and advice. We have a number of forums in Imagine, Act and Succeed, and I think they work very well. It's a great way, great opportunity in terms of communication for that to flow through the organisation, in particular in times where there's lots of change and lots of things are happening. So the three forums that we have are people's forums, where the people we support come together, sometimes with an outside facilitator, sometimes with people they know, it depends on the forums, and they have real discussion topics and have actually changed some of our policy and procedure. So things that were raised at individual forums have then worked their way through the organisation, changed policy and procedure, and that's really demonstrated very well. We have relatives forums where families or friends of people can come. It really truly is a decision-making forum. It's not one where people bring the problem of the week. People have individual sessions to do that and opportunities to do that on a regular basis with the manager or the senior manager of each network. But true decision making, and that's great. We have a number of reps from that forum who are the quality leads for the organisation. So they go out with a whole team of them. They spend time, they measure and assess quality, and they report it back not only to the team and the manager of that place, but strategically to the senior management team so that we can make the changes we need to make. And not forgetting staff. Staff not only have their team meetings where they work, but an opportunity to come together for a service development forum. And again, I suppose it is what it says, service development. It's where teams and people consider different things that are going on, come together, share that, and make true, real decisions. So that's kind of how we do some of the information and advice. What we recognise, and again through the Just Enough support and the risk work, was housing is really, really important right now in the current climate, thinking about how people want to live. So we've put some resources against somebody who is our housing advisor and links with all the local authorities around that. One of the things that we're really truly focusing on is having accessible information, and what we found is that video is a great way to do that. So we're capturing as many stories as possible that are going to go on the website and share the great stories that are happening, but also share the good learning around that. If it's not always worked, what could be different next time? So there's some of the things that we're doing. Not all of them, but some that would kind of fit onto the board today around how we're looking at the markers for making it real.